My talk today is going to have one simple message. Always say yes. Is the sky blue? Is the grass green? Is Coke the best soft drink? Well, that's a bit of a decider, isn't it? All right. I'm not actually here to talk about the best soft drink, which is definitely Coke. I'd actually like to talk about different opportunities, and I want everyone in this room to find their passion and make sure they follow it. Could I get a show of hands? Who here has absolutely no idea what they'd like to do after high school? That's a bit more than half, and that's totally okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, but this also goes for those of you who do know what you want to do. Always say yes. If you get asked to go on an optional excursion, say yes. If you get asked to run for the leadership team, say yes. And if you get asked to, I don't know, represent the school for sport, say yes. And if you get asked to stay in during lunchtime to do extra maths work just for fun, say no, because that sounds so boring. Unless that's what you guys like to do, of course. And that's really my main point. The more things you try, the easier it will be to find what you like doing. And this will help you find your passion, and that's how you want to spend your life. I'm not saying that by the end of my talk you'll know what you want to do after school, but I want to help you find ways in which you can slowly discover what gives you purpose in life. I'd like to do this by sharing a little bit of my experience. When I was younger, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do. I used to get in the car every week with Dad, and my dream job would change weekly. I'd tell him how I wanted to be a music producer, and then a physicist, or an author, or maybe even work in IT. It was so difficult for me to find something I could remain interested in for the long term. But as I slowly took on different opportunities, my true passion eventually revealed itself. In year 4, I was asked to join the primary school band, and I said yes. I'd previously had keyboard lessons for about a year or so, but like most things, I got bored of it and I stopped. But they didn't even offer keyboard at the primary school band, so I started learning the trumpet instead. I was able to borrow one from the school, and I learned how to read sheet music. Even though I really enjoyed the performances with the band, by the time I got to high school, I'd mostly lost interest, and my trumpet has sat under my bed ever since. High school is when I really began to realize the benefits of saying yes to opportunities, though. I would go on every excursion, join every program offered, and really just try to do as much as I possibly could. I even used to do university programs for high school students in the school holidays. Not only were these experiences fun, but they helped me find my passion for leadership and rediscover my interest in music. When I was 16, I got an email about an evening course for high school students to go to JMC Academy and learn about music production software. I said yes. I didn't know anyone else who was going, but I still went to the city every day after school for 1 week and learnt about the recording software. Later that year, I also attended a seminar at JMC Academy with KC Porter, a music producer who worked with Michael Jackson. And it wasn't until I got there and was surrounded by university students that I realized I was by far the youngest in attendance. Rediscovering my interest in music led me back to the keyboard, and I was able to apply my sheet music skills that I'd learnt from the trumpet and start teaching myself using YouTube. Although keyboard took me a while to kind of come back to it, I really fell in love with it at this point in my life. And this is when I started to learn all my favorite songs and just play every day. Although I did kind of think I would probably lose interest again, just like I always did. In 2017, students from my high school were given the opportunity to go to America as part of the G'day USA exchange program. This meant we would go to LA, San Francisco, and San Diego and spend a week living with an American family. We would also get to go to school over there, and this was something that a few of my friends and I all said yes to. However, at first it did kind of seem a little bit unrealistic. I knew there was no way I could afford this trip, but I didn't give up immediately. Instead, I started working at McDonald's and saved up to make this dream a reality. And in January of 2018, we went on a trip that I will never forget. I gained a lot from my experience in America, and this really made me aware of the possibilities that come from saying yes to opportunities. After working at McDonald's for almost a year, I was invited to attend the McDonald's Crew Awards night, and I'm sure you all know what I said. At this event, I made a friend with someone who had a similar interest in music as me, and she introduced me to School of Rock MacArthur. School of Rock is a music school that offers one-on-one lessons for different instruments and also offers group programs for different age groups. Multiple shows are put on each year. I joined School of Rock and started rehearsals for my very first show, playing the keyboard for Pink Floyd's The Wall. It was absolutely amazing for me to be in a place surrounded by people who shared my interest in music. Although I kind of already knew a lot on the keyboard before joining School of Rock, their programs really helped me become the musician I am today, as I was regularly learning new songs and rehearsing with different people. By this point, it was pretty clear to me that music was my passion and something that I did keep coming back to. I knew I wanted to commit to a career in the music industry. Since joining School of Rock, I've completed 12 of their shows and also auditioned for and joined their house band program, where we would play regular gigs to promote the school. A highlight of house band was playing a show with Mark Schulman and Eva Gardner, the drummer and bass player from Pink's band. I've also been working at School of Rock since the beginning of this year, and I work as a keyboard instructor, as well as a director of the Rookies and Rock 101 programs for younger students. And I'm about to start working as a director for the performance show programs, just like the ones I did as a student a few years ago. School of Rock had a major impact on my life, and there were so many small steps that led me there, and all I had to do was say yes and take on each opportunity along the way. The most valuable thing that came from School of Rock was meeting the members of my band, Gravity Stone. In November of 2018, they were in the studio recording their EP, and the lead singer came up to me and asked if I would be interested in helping them record by adding some keys to their songs. What do you think I said? Dan asked me on a Thursday night, and they would need me to record on Sunday. I had school on Friday, I had School of Rock rehearsals on Saturday during the day, and work until late on Saturday night. So Friday night was my only opportunity to learn their songs, and that's exactly what I did. I played on some of Gravity Stone's songs as a session musician, and I later joined the band as an official member. Since then, we've released the EP of 5 songs, and we've also released 2 singles, and we play regular gigs. This year, we've released our latest single, Dichotomy, and played our first gig in Canberra. I'm extremely passionate about music, and I really want to commit to being a musician, and there's nothing else I want to do. After trying many different opportunities, I'm now certain that this is how I want to spend my life. I truly believe that finding your passions is the first step to fulfillment, and taking on different opportunities can help you find yours. The significance of taking on different opportunities and finding your passion is evident when considering Friedrich Nietzsche's thought experiments on the eternal return. The eternal return is a concept found in philosophy and suggests that the universe and all of life is recurring and will continue to recur infinitely. This means that your life will continue to play out on a loop the exact same way each time. All the good moments and all the bad moments will repeat forever. Now, if this sounds pretty unpleasant, it may be important to start taking steps to make life more fulfilling. Even if the eternal return doesn't actually happen, it is really interesting to consider the decisions we would make if this were to be true. If you knew your life was going to repeat the exact same way each time, it would be so important to make decisions that make life enjoyable. And I believe a lifetime devoted to your passions would be extremely rewarding and beneficial if returning eternally. However, it would still be pretty difficult to avoid those necessary bad moments. I think it's important to consciously remain as positive as possible. I think I'm naturally a pretty pessimistic person, but I regularly focus on remaining optimistic, and this has positive impacts on my life as well as those around me. This is the kind of optimism that allows me to say yes to different opportunities and never give up when there are some obstacles in the way of my goals. This optimism also allows me to dream of the unrealistic and make it a reality. And this is something that all of you can do as well, just by saying yes. So, after you leave today, if you get asked to go on an optional excursion, what are you going to say? And if you get asked to represent the school for sport, what will you say? And how about if you get asked to run for the leadership team? And what about if you get asked to stay in during lunchtime to do extra maths work just for fun? Okay, so once you've gotten really good at saying yes, it's so important to know when to say no. If you say yes to absolutely every opportunity you're offered, even if they sound interesting, you're going to become overwhelmed and not have enough time to put your best effort into all the things you've said yes to. During my Bachelor of Music at Western Sydney University, I was encouraged to join the ensemble groups that would perform at university events. However, at the time, I was pretty busy with work, Gravity Stone, and uni, and I figured that it would probably be pretty similar to house band at School of Rock. I'd be learning covers and rehearsing with a group each week to put on some shows, and this was something I'd experienced already. So I chose to say no, even though this would have been a great experience in line with my passion for music. Saying no gave me more time to focus on my other goals and take on opportunities that were new for me, such as joining the Student Ambassador program at Western Sydney University. This is where I am able to give campus tours and assist with high school programs, just like the ones I used to do as a student. I think it's really important to consider the benefits of each opportunity and think about what you could gain from them. Say yes to opportunities that interest you. Say yes to opportunities that will challenge you. And say yes to every opportunity if you do have the time. But say no to opportunities when you found your passion and you know they're not relevant. So, if you have already found your passion, I want you to promise to yourself that you will do everything you can to follow these passions. And if you're not so sure what you're passionate about just yet, please try to find it. Opportunities will make their way to you, and when you see them, what are you going to say? Thank you.